Deion Sanders accuses Virginia of tampering with Colorado players. Just when it seemed nothing else could surprise us about this chaotic era of college athletics we find ourselves in, we now live in a universe where Deion Sanders is taking public shots at the Virginia football program. Yep, you read that right. Deion Sanders, Coach Prime, the only athlete to play in a Super Bowl and the World Series. Now the head coach of the Colorado football program. And he has a problem with the University of Virginia football team. What is that problem, exactly? Well, as with everything else these days in college football, it has to do with the unmitigated mess that has resulted from the combination of unregulated nil funding and unrestricted transfer portal movement. Despite the mind-boggling lack of rules governing the college football offseason, Sanders has just accused Tony Elliott and the UVA football program of breaking those rules by tampering. Enticing a player from another school with nil offers before that player has officially entered the transfer portal ATA practice at Colorado on Thursday, Deion Sanders, knowing that the cameras were rolling, called out Virginia for having offered one of his players a bag, otherwise known as a large sum of nil money, to enter the portal and come to UVA. Sanders asked that player, junior defensive back Carter Stoutmire, to confirm the name of the school which had offered him the money in front of the entire Colorado team, and then proceeded to look into the camera and speak directly to Virginia, saying, "Virginia, you gotta stop." Sanders then went on to say he had let you have one, seeming to imply that Virginia had tampered successfully with another one of his players previously. You can watch the video clip of Deion Sanders calling out Virginia in the tweet below, but we've gone ahead and put a brief transcript of it here as well. Deion Sanders. Carter got offered a bag. Where Carter at? What's the school? What's the school that offered you the bag? Carter Stoutmire. Virginia Sanders. Virginia. Virginia. Where the camera at? Virginia, you gotta stop. I let you have one. I ain't say nothing about it. Come on now. Come on. We let you have one. I ain't say nothing about it. Now, we can only speculate as to the actual facts of this particular situation, but here's what seems to be implied by this very passionate accusation against Virginia by Deion Sanders. According to Sanders, UVA tampered. Somewhat successfully, it seems, given Sanders saying, "We let you have one," with a Colorado player and convinced him to enter the transfer portal. We do not know who that player is, but given Virginia's roster needs, we could guess it could be safety Miles Slusher, running back Isaiah Augustov, or maybe tight end Sam Hart, each of whom entered the transfer portal within the first couple of days of the spring window. Sanders is insinuating that one of those players was contacted by Virginia with a nil offer before the portal opened. With Sanders choosing to go public with his complaints, it seems he has drawn the line at Virginia's unsuccessful and unproven attempt to get another Colorado player, Carter Stoutmire, to enter the portal as well. If we see a Colorado transfer commit to Virginia in the coming days, then maybe there is some validity to Sanders' claims. But even then, it's still an absurd situation made all the more astounding by Sanders choosing to lodge these grievances publicly on social media. While Tony Elliott has yet to comment on this fresh attack, and it's unlikely a response will ever come, some members of his Virginia coaching staff, including wide receivers coach Adam Mims and offensive line coach Terry Heffernan, have taken it upon themselves to address the Sanders video with some, let's just call them, interesting posts on social media. See for yourself. Without legitimizing this story any more than we already have, it's important to note that with the accelerated timelines during which players are entering the transfer portal and almost immediately announcing their commitments to new schools, tampering is very much commonplace in college football right now. It's obvious that if Virginia was in fact tampering, that would likely make the Cavaliers only part of the vast majority of programs that are bending the rules. But since we're a few days into the spring transfer window already and UVA has yet to land a transfer commit, there seems to be not much actual evidence to support these flimsy, yet furious allegations by Deion Sanders that at any rate. This offseason drama is great for entertainment, especially when the season is still more than 4 months away. Is it too late for Colorado and Virginia to schedule a game with each other this season? Cash Cleveland drops 7-word ointment on Deion Sanders' wound after Julian Lewis cold reaction on transfer news. Just when Deion Sanders thought that he was making major moves with his recruitment this season, with 14 commits and ranking high at second position in the Big 12, reality hit him hard. The team was already going through a transition this season after the Buffs gave up the most QB sacks in the Big 12 Conference, 43 last season. And now, in the middle of all of this mess, their star offensive lineman, Cash Cleveland, enters the portal. Quite a blow, right? But it looks like Cash isn't among the ones to end things on a bad note. Well, just 2 days after the spring portal opening, the Buffs lost their star starting center, Cash Cleveland, who decided to make a move. Losing him is a major blow for the entire team, as he wasn't just any lineman. He was a 6 feet 3 inches, 290 pounds, powerhouse for Colorado, and his stats speak volumes about his excellence. By the end of the year, he was the glue of the O-line, starting 4 games and playing 296 snaps, and only allowing 1 sack and 2 hurries last season. Making it evident, transfer portal hit Instagram with the news. Colorado starting center Cash Cleveland plans to enter the NCAA transfer portal, Pete Nakos reports. Cleveland was an on-3 true freshman All-American last season, but Cash rounded things up by commenting on the post, saying, "God's plan. Thank you, Colorado, for everything." Cash Cleveland spent 1 season at Colorado, where he started as a walk-on before becoming the first walk-on in the Buffs program history to earn a starting role. Dude came to Boulder without a scholarship and left as one of the most reliable players on the team. What a perfect transition. And that's not the only thing that makes him Deion Sanders' offensive threat. Even on three's true freshman All-American team included him, a selection quickly followed by PFF and 247 Sports. Now in the portal, Cash Cleveland brings a blend of nasty film and big boy accolades, which made him a standout player in his game at Utah last season. Even Cash was pretty satisfied with his play time and gameplay against them. As he said, "It was awesome. I always stay prepared. I study a lot of film. In meetings, I'm always 100% focused and locked in, and I study like I'm a first-string player. So when my number got called, I was ready for the moment. Didn't blink at all." Deion Sanders was never afraid to drop freshman players on the field, and that's the reason Cash shined brightly. But does Deion Sanders have any key pieces to replace a talent like Cash Cleveland? With Cleveland sidelined, Louisiana Tech transfer Zarian McGill is likely to take over at center. He played in all 12 games for the Bulldogs, starting 3 at center, so he's well-versed in the position. Colorado also added Xavier Hill from Memphis last week, a significant acquisition. Hill saw an impressive 916 snaps last season, earning top marks from Pro Football Focus. McGill's experience, combined with Hill's versatility, gives Coach Prime a solid foundation, but whether they can replicate Cleveland's performance remains to be seen. For now, the team's pretty surprised and heartbroken with Cash Cleveland's sudden transfer portal move, especially when Coach Prime is trying his best to revamp the CU Buffs O-line. Cash Cleveland's sudden leaves Buffs in shock. It's pretty shocking to see that Cash Cleveland decided to enter the transfer portal even after everything Deion Sanders is doing for the Buffs offensive line. He hired Dallas Cowboys Pro Bowl offensive lineman Andre Gurode as an assistant OL coach for a salary of $250,000. That's not it. Coach Prime also promoted Gunnar White to co-offensive line coach at a salary of $275,000. Look, Deion Sanders didn't leave a single stone unturned to make his team strong. He brought NFL players to the team in coaching roles to develop his team with pro-level antics. But even then, things turned pretty weird for him. No one's ready to accept Cash Cleveland's departure. Even Julian Lewis was pretty heartbroken with Cleveland's transfer portal move, as he put up the news in his IG story with a caption that said, "Hurt family." No wonder losing Cash Cleveland is a major blow for the Buffs. The Juju isn't the only one sweating over his move. Even the Buffs' offensive tackle Jordan Seaton isn't buying the idea of him leaving the team. He hit X with a bold remark, saying, "Sports crazy now. Can't even build a true brotherhood anymore. Too much I in me." It's pretty evident that the transfer portal has shaken up teams and players' sportsmanship to the very core.